guys, and welcome back to my read-along channel. We are reading Candyfloss by Jacqueline Wilson. This is all Jacqueline Wilson's own work, just reading it for entertainment and pleasure purposes. Today we are going to start on chapter 6, which is on page 73. So without further ado, let's get going. Chapter 6. It was as if I'd thrown a bomb at Mum. She exploded. She told me I was being ridiculous. She insisted I had to go with her. I was part of her family. I'm part of Dad's family too, I said. Dad gave me this great big hug, but then he held me at arm's length and looked into my eyes. Are you sure you know what you're saying, Floss? I think maybe you'd be much better off in Australia with your mum. You don't have to stay with your old dad, you know. I'll miss you heaps and heaps, but I'll manage fine, I promise. I won't manage, Dad, I said. I want to stay with you. Well, you can't, so you can stop this silly act right now, Mum said. You're my daughter and you're coming to live with me. No, I'm not. Yes, you are. No, I'm not. Yes, you are. Oh, no, I'm not. Hey, you two. You sound like a bad pantomime act, said Dad. Don't you tell me what to do, said Mum. I'm sure this is all your fault. You put Floss up to this. I tell you, she was absolutely thrilled to be going to Australia, as anyone in their right mind would be. Well, she seems in her right mind now to me, and it's clear what she wants to do, said Dad. She wants to stay with me. She can't. A daughter's place is with her mother, Mum insisted. She turned round to me. Floss. Her voice cracked as if she was going to cry. You do really want to be with me, don't you, darling? She waited. Dad waited. I waited too. I didn't know what I really wanted. Yes, I did. I wanted Steve and Tiger to disappear in a puff of smoke. I wanted our family to be just Mum and Dad and me. It would be like it used to be a long, long ago, when Dad called Mum his big princess and she laughed at all his silly jokes, and we had breakfast in bed on Sunday mornings and cuddles all together on the big sofa in the living room. I shut my eyes for a second and wished for what I wanted. I knew my wish couldn't possibly come true. I opened my eyes again. There was Mum, her forehead pinched with two sharp lines above her nose, her carefully outlined shiny lips pressed hard together in a straight line. There was Dad gnawing at a piece of loose skin on his thumb, his hair sticking up sideways, his sweatshirt too tight over his tummy. I could wish and wish until I blew up like a giant balloon, but Mum and Dad weren't ever going to get back together. Tiger started grizzling because Mum was holding him too tightly. Steve reached over and took him, swinging him up onto his broad shoulders. Tiger chuckled with delight. He loved his dad. I loved my dad. I loved him even more because he wasn't tall and fit and handsome and clever like Steve. Mum had Steve and Tiger. Dad didn't have anyone but me. I really want to stay here with Dad, I said quietly to Mum. Please, please, please let me. Mum's face screwed up. Her glossy lips disappeared as her mouth contorted. Tears started rolling down her cheeks. All right, she whispered. She clutched her stomach as if she'd been punched. Steve pulled her close, Tiger still perched on his shoulders. Dad put his arms round me. I could feel him shaking. I think he was crying too. It would have been easier if we could have all split up there and then, but I stayed with Mum and Steve and Tiger until they went to Australia. It was awful. Mum and I didn't know how to act with each other. One day, Mum would act all cold and distant, and whenever I looked up, she'd be staring at me reproachfully. The next day, she would be brisk and bossy, telling me she was damned if I was going to mess up all their plans, and if I didn't want to go to Australia, it was my loss, not hers. But the day after that, she suddenly burst into floods of tears, and I did too. I sat on Mum's lap and cuddled in close as she rocked me, as if I was as tiny as Tiger. I'm going to miss you so bad. I'm going to miss you so, my baby, said Mum. I'm going to miss you too, Mum, I said. Please come with us, she murmured into my curls. I wanted to so much. Mum looked like she'd really miss me, maybe even as much as Dad. I didn't see how I could bear to be without my Mum. I thought of all our cuddles, all our girly talk, all our shopping trips, all the secrets she told me about growing up and girls and boys. As the days wore on, I got so cast down that I even started to feel I was going to miss Tiger. Whenever I went near him, he held out his chubby arm to be picked up. When I whirled him round or blew a raspberry on his fat little tummy, he chuckled and snorted and kicked his bendy legs like a little frog. He was even starting to say my name. though he couldn't quite manage the L. So I was his Fossy. I suddenly got into this whole big sister thing. I sat him on my lap and read him all his boring little books about tractors and tank engines. I drew him pictures of dogs and cats and cows so that he could woof woof and meow meow and moo moo for hours. I fed him his chopped up chicken and carrots, pretending the spoon was an aeroplane flying through the air and docking in his drooly little mouth. I gave him his bath, making all his plastic ducks bob up and down and nibble his tummy with their orange beaks. I tucked him up at night with his dummy and his stripy teddy and my baby kangaroo. You can have baby kangaroo if you like, Tiger, I whispered, seeing as you've taken such a shine to him. Tiger clasped baby kangaroo happily. Maybe you'd better have mother kangaroo too, I said. I don't think they'd like being separated. I knew I wasn't going to be separated from my mum. I couldn't help hoping that she'd suddenly change her mind and decide she couldn't bear to go to Australia without me. Steve didn't have to take this new job. We could all go on living in our house, and I could go on staying with Dad at weekends, and we could still be a kind of family even if Mum and Dad weren't living together. But Steve brought home lots of cardboard boxes and started packing everything up. Tiger played happily in this new cardboard city, plumping himself down on the sheets of bubble wrap and squealing with laughter when they went pop. Mum started packing her stuff too, selecting all her favourite clothes, consigning her fun fur coat and big boots to the boxes going into storage as it wasn't really cold in Australia, even in their winter. She started going through all my things too, packing all the good stuff to be taken to Dad's and putting all my old clothes and toys in a big bag for the hospice shop. I stared at my special dolls and cuddly teddies. I loved them so, but Rhiannon now said they were just for silly babies. I rounded up all my Barbie girls, twirled each one of them round on their tippy toes, and then made them jump one after the other into the plastic bag. Are you sure about your dolls, Floss? Won't you want to play with them at your dad's? They're just for babies, I said firmly. Well, at least they look attractive. Why chuck them and keep all these moth-eaten old teddies? I'm not, I said. I tumbled them all into the bag too, until it was bulging with soft yellow and fawn fur. Good for you, Floss, said Mum, but you'd better keep Kanga and baby Kanga for yourself as your best toys. They were actually very expensive. Tiger will just mess them up. No, I want him to have them, Mum, as a special present from his big sister. Well, that's very sweet of you, dear. You're right. You're getting too grown up for cuddly toys. But then Mum suddenly seized hold of a droopy pink poodle with embarrassing name of Pee-Pee, huddling at the bottom of my old toy box. I'd simply shortened Pink Poodle to her initials. But I knew her name would make Margot and Judy chortle, and maybe Rhiannon. Chuck her, Mum, I said. No, we have to keep Pee-Pee, Mum said, stroking her. Mum, Pee-Pee's ancient. She was more grey than pink nowadays. Her fur was very matted, and she only had one glass eye, which gave her face a baleful, lopsided expression. You used to lug her around everywhere with you when you were little, said Mum. She looked at me. You're still little, she said. She started crying. I'd seen Mum cry lots of times before, but never like this. She sat back on her heels and sobbed, her mouth like a letterbox, because she was howling so hard. It was so scary that Tiger stopped crawling around her wardrobe, playing with shoes, and huddled down into her pashmina pile, sobbing too. I wanted to cry as well, but Steve was out playing a farewell round of golf with all his boring buddies, so he wasn't around to comfort Mum. I had to be the grown-up. I put my arms around Mum and I rocked her, and she clutched me tight and wept against my chest until my t-shirt was sodden. Please don't cry so, Mum, I begged. I'm not little, I'm big now. I'll be fine with Dad while you're away, and then when you come back from Australia, we'll go back to me living with you during the week, and we'll get back to normal again. You'll see. Oh, darling, Mum sobbed. I think I've gone crazy. What am I doing? I can't leave you behind. I simply can't. And that is the end of chapter 6, guys. So next time we come back, we'll be on page 83, and that's chapter 7. But until the next time, guys, thank you so much for listening, as always. And until the next time, guys, hopefully it's very soon. Goodbye.